So flexible planning. So topics we'll be covering in flexible planning is, we'll see what is flexible planning and what is the customization required for flexible planning, what is the process flow, how the process flow works in flexible planning, how to create the information structure. Yesterday we understood information structure. Now today we'll see how to create the information structure, how to create the planning hierarchy. In the flexible planning we'll be using planning hierarchies. So how to create them. Then we'll see how to create a planning type, nothing but table. So today we'll be creating everything, okay, and then we'll see how to create the macros. What are these macros? How to create the macros we'll see. Then we'll do the planning activity. Once all the design, configuration, everything done, we'll start with the planning table, planning in the planning table, and finally we'll transfer the data to demand management. Same like yesterday, okay. So we'll be seeing the transfer of the SOP plan to demand management. So basically the basic difference between your what do you say, your okay, so basically what happens is we have standard SOP, and then we have a flexible plan. Okay, so in standard SOP yesterday which we discussed, everything is already there in the system. Infrastructure, your what do you say, infrastructure, planning type, everything is there in the system. So only what we did is we have executed the planning. That's all. Okay. Now here in the flexible planning, first you will do all the design, all the design, and then you go for planning. Once all the design setup, everything is done, you go for the planning activity. So that is the flexible planning. So as the name suggests, we can do all the configuration, everything design as per our requirement. Okay. So flexible planning can be based on any information structure of your choice. That means the choice is ours. We can create information structure as per our requirement. Either a self-defined information structure, or you can use the standard information structure which is already available in the system. Okay, here we used S076. Here we used yesterday S076. Here we will be creating our custom information structure. Custom info structure. We will be creating our custom information structure. Okay, or you can use any other information structure which is already available in the system, or any other standard information structure. Info structure. That's what we'll be doing it in the flexible planning. Okay, this means you can plan any combination of organizational units and any key figures. Okay, so defining the characteristics and key figures is our choice. We'll be designing. In addition, you can design your own planning table layouts. So you can create your own planning table, which is nothing but planning type. Okay. Now in the flexible planning, we can use both planning methods, level by level planning and consistent planning. Both can be used, but anyhow we will be using today consistent planning, because already we discussed yesterday we used level by level planning. We will be using consistent planning. So here in the SOP, standard SOP, only level by level planning is possible. Level by level planning is possible, whereas in flexible planning, which we are going to discuss today, you can use both. Either you can use level by level planning method, or you can use what we say that consistent planning. Both you can use, any one of these can use. Anyhow, today we'll be using consistent planning. Okay, so now the planning, flexible planning is based on planning hierarchies. So their standard SOP is based on, yesterday we discussed, it is based on product group. Okay, product groups. Okay, whereas the one which we are discussing, flexible planning, it is based on planning hierarchy. Planning hierarchies. Okay, planning hierarchies. Okay, so that's what. So this is how the customizing works for the flexible planning. First thing is, we will be defining an information structure. We will be creating an information structure. In the information structure, we define our key figures, and our characteristics. That you put it in the information structure. Now in the information structure, you will assign the planning method, either level by level planning or consistent planning, and then you assign the planning units, nothing but your periods, planning buckets, monthly, weekly, or whatever it is. And then some key figure parameters you will assign. Anyway, we'll see all these things in the system. Okay. And once that is done, you will be creating a planning type, nothing but table, for this particular information structure. So there you define the screen layout, and then you define the macros. So this is the customization required for flexible planning. Okay. Once all done, we'll go for the planning activity. Okay. So this is the process flow for the flexible planning. This is the process flow. Okay. So first you start with information structure creation. Okay. So today we'll be creating a new information structure. I'll log on to the system. And then we'll be creating it. So first we'll create the infrastructure. We'll assign the characteristics, key figures, period unit, and then as usual you will have the versions. Like yesterday we had the version, right? Inactive version, active version. So here also you will be having the versions. All the data is managed with the versions. Okay. So I'll log on to the system. We'll start with creation of information structure. What is the password? Just give me 1 minute. Okay, so the transaction code is MC21. Okay, so this is the create information structure. So always information structure should start with yes. Okay, so I'll create S999. I'll create S999 7_new. Okay, information structure. So this is I'm creating new information structure. I'm creating. Select as a application as 01. Okay, because it comes with sales, so normally it is recommended to have application as sales and distribution 01. Of course you can use other applications also, but most of the time we're using the data from the sales, so select application as 01. Okay, and ensure planning possible indicator is activated. Okay, then you enter. Choose another name for the information structure. Already one information structure is there, it seems. Okay. Okay, so you will be getting this screen. Okay, here you will be choosing your characteristics and you will be choosing your key figures. Okay. Now the question is, who will decide these characteristics and key figure? Just give me 1 minute. So now we need to choose the characteristics and key figures. Now the question is, who will decide these characteristics and key figures? During the implementation, during the SAP implementation, the consultants and the business team. The consultants means we and the business team, the client team will sit together and then they will decide which characteristics they want to use and which key figures we have to use. That they will decide. Okay. So there is no hard and thumb rule for this. It's our choice which characteristics to use, which key figures to use. Okay. So I'll just to choose a characteristic, just click on the button, choose characteristic. System will open another pop-up box. Okay, so you will be getting this screen. Okay, here Okay, easy. Okay, so now here you have field catalogs. The right side column, you have field catalogs. Okay, so in these field catalogs you will have these fields. So this is a field catalog. In the characteristics for IDs you have these fields. Okay, now if you go to one more field catalog, next field catalog, you have the different fields. System is very slow. So in this IS beverages pendulum list, you have these fields. So field catalog will contain fields. Okay, so nothing but so we will be selecting the characteristics. So now I want to do my planning hierarchy. Like my characteristics will be sales organization, distribution channel, division, and then my material. These are the ones I am selecting. Okay, so just to select a particular field, you need to double click on it. It will get selected. There is a right indicator coming, so it gets selected. Now the next one, distribution channel, select it. Division, you select it. Sold to and I'll select material. Always try to ensure the last characteristics should be material, because ultimately your data transfer will happen at material level. Okay, so always there should be a characteristics called material. So these are the characteristics I'm selecting. Once those are selected, just on the down there is a button, copy plus close. You click on that button, those get copied to the next screen. Again just click on the copy button, those will come and get sit over here. This is how you select the characteristics. Okay, now the next one is key figures. Again click on the button, choose key figures. Again you will have, for key figures you will have field catalogs, under that you will have fields. Okay, so I'll select two fields. I'll select sales and I'll select production. I want to only have two fields. Okay, so sales and then production. Then click on copy plus close, copy. So your key figures have come. Okay, this is how you decide characteristics and key figures. Okay, once all done, you save the information structure. Okay, you save the information structure. Information structure is basically a configuration, so it will ask for a transport request. So you click on the local object. Okay, so it gets saved. The first step is creation of information. This is how you create the information structure. You see that the basic difference is, yesterday we used already existing information structure. Today in the flexible planning, we are creating our own information structure. We are creating custom information structure. Okay, so this is the one. We defined all characteristics, key figures. Now the period units and version.
Sir, what is that indicator SID, FID in the screen? And there is a
SID means if you want to transfer this data from the sales module, you transfer this from the third party or from sales data, sales information system. From here, if you want to transfer data, you will be activating this.
And FID?
FID means from finance. From finance side, if you want to transfer.
Okay.
So those are relevant for BW. There is a module called BW, business warehousing, from where if you want to fetch the data to this system, then you will use that. Okay, so now save it, done. Now the next step will be, you will be assigning the planning parameters. First you will before that you will be activating the information structure. Okay, so how you activate it is save. Now go back. Now you go to change mode. This is your information structure. Enter the information structure, go inside, go to change mode, MC22, and there is a button called generate, circle button, red circle button. You have to click on that button. So your information structure will get generated. taking time. Yeah. First time, right? So it will take some time. Okay, so your information structure got generated. Okay, all green messages, so no issues at all. So your information structure is generated. That is what you have done. The second step, activating the information structure. Okay, till this part it is one time activity. Whenever you are creating information structure, this you will be doing for the one time. Now this remaining last three steps will be monthly activity, every month or every week based on your planning period. Okay, so now we have activated the information structure. Now you will assign the planning parameters to the information structure. So you have to assign these planning parameters like period, unit, all those things. Okay, so the transaction code is MC7F. Go to MC7F, MC. Okay, so here you will be assigning the information structure planning parameters. So go to our information structure, click on the position, go to S888. This is the one we created. Okay, so select that one, you go to details. So by default some planning parameters are proposed. Okay, and then you assign the planning method here. Okay, so here try to recollect our yesterday's class. We have three types of planning methods. One is consistent planning, level by level planning, delta planning. Okay, anyhow delta planning is obsolete. Now you have the option of choosing consistent planning and level by level planning. Okay, so now here I'm maintaining consistent planning. Okay, and other factors you can maintain here. Currency is okay, base unit of kg to kg. I want to use it for the products which are having kg, and then enter. Okay, fiscal year period, specify fiscal year period. Period does not exist. Just 1 minute. Let us change it to months. Okay, I change it to months. That's okay. Currency you can remove if it is not required. It's all not required. Okay. The major important thing here is your planning method. What planning method you want to apply to this information structure? This is the main one, and this is the planning period. Buckets, monthly or something. So I entered the monthly. Remaining options, whatever you are seeing on the right side, all these are required for if you want to transfer the data from BW to this information structure. Then those time you will be using these indicators. Okay, so don't worry about these indicators. The main thing is the planning method and your planning period. Okay, and the base unit of measure. And one more thing is, if you want to use this information structure only for a particular plant, you will enter the plant over here if you want to enter. So the plant also you can enter if you want to. But once all the data is entered, just save the planning parameters. Okay, it's a configuration basically, so it's asking for a transport request. Okay, so enter the information structure, the description of the transport request, save it. Okay. Done, continue. Okay, done. So your planning parameters have been created for this particular information structure. Okay, so now we will be going to the next step. The next step is the creation of planning hierarchy. Okay. So there we used product group. Here we will be using planning hierarchy. So what is this planning hierarchy? A planning hierarchy represents the organizational levels and units in which you are in your company for which you want to do planning. So it represents a organizational levels, the levels for which you want to do the planning. So planning hierarchy must exist for the information structure before you can plan it key figure. So if you want to do the planning for information structure, then you should have a planning hierarchy. Without planning hierarchy, you cannot execute the planning activity. Okay, now you can only create one planning hierarchy per information structure. So for a particular information structure, you can have only one planning hierarchy. Okay, so now we will be creating the planning hierarchy. So the typical planning hierarchy looks like this. It's look like this. So here your characteristics are, let's say your characteristics are region, sales organization, sales office, and material. Then this is the one. Okay, this is your what do you say? Europe is your what do you say? Sales organization. Your sales office is central, and then your sales office is Paris. This is your sales organization. This is your sales office. Sorry, this is your region. This is your sales organization, and this is your sales office. Under this, you will have materials. Okay, so this is how a typical planning hierarchy looks like. So now we will be creating the planning hierarchy. It's nothing but a planning levels, that's all. Okay, so we will be creating a planning hierarchy, and during that one we will be giving the proportion factors. Try to recollect yesterday's proportion factors. When we are creating the product group, we entered the proportion factors, the percentages. Same thing here also, we will be entering the proportion factors. So now I'll create the planning hierarchy. The transaction code MC61. So go to MC61.
Hello?
So create planning hierarchy, enter your information structure, enter.
Please, madam. నాకు ఇంకా కొన్ని ఉంది సార్ ప్లీజ్ మ్యామ్ ప్లీజ్ మ్యామ్ మూవ్ అమ్మ ప్లీజ్ ఫైనల్
So see, now you will be getting this pop-up box, characteristics. Now from where these characteristics are coming? Sales organization, distribution channel, and division and material. These are coming from this information structure. If you go to our information structure, so these are the characteristics we defined. Okay, so those characteristics are picked from this information structure. Okay, so now I'm entering one of the sales organization which is already there in the system. Okay, so I'm entering sales organization as 1000. Okay, now I'll enter the distribution channel, one of the distribution channel in the system, that is direct sales. Okay, now from this level I want to start planning, so just click on continue. Now you will be getting this screen. Okay, so now after the sales organization distribution channel, I have this division. Now let's say I have two divisions. Okay, so whatever the planning data comes to this distribution channel, that will get divided to these divisions. Okay, so I'll enter the two divisions in the system which is already there. Okay, let's say pumps, and another one is motors or motorcycles or whatever, or let's use motorcycles, and another one is, let's say, vehicles. Okay, I use these two. Aggregation factor as usual, it's 1. Okay, now here my proportion factor, let's say I'll put 75 and 25%. Okay, and among a level, the sum of the proportion factor should be equal to 100. So that means whatever the planning data comes at distribution channel 01 level, that will get distributed 75% to this division, 25% to this division. Okay. Now what is our next level? Our next level will be material. So now what to do? You put the cursor on the division A1, okay, then click on the button next level. It will take you to your next level. So see, by default material is coming over here. Okay, so now you enter some materials in the system. I'll take the materials which are already there in the system. Material is nothing but product, your finished product. But okay, so these are the finished products available in the system. So I'll take which are having unit of measure kg. Okay, so I'll take this. Okay, so yesterday what we used? Yesterday we used this two, right? Okay, so I'll be using this today, this two. Okay, first in one this one I'll use this one. Okay, material. Next one also I'll use another material. Okay, so my aggregation factor as usual 1. So now whatever the planning data comes at division A1, that will get distributed by 50-50, let's say. My proportion factor, I want to divide 50% to this material, another 50% to this material. Okay. So in this manner you will enter the material. Now go back. Now what is your another? So put the cursor on the 02 and then click on the button next level. So here you enter another 2 meters. So whatever in this division, whatever the materials are there, you will be entering here. So I'll take one of the 2 materials in the system. This one, ice cream and pizza. Okay, I'll take these 2 materials. Okay. Aggregation factor 1, and proportion factor here I will give 60 and 40%. Okay, so I created all the hierarchy. So my hierarchy, sales org, distribution channel, division, and then materials. So once all the planning hierarchy is created, save the hierarchy. Okay, so your planning hierarchy is created. Now you can see the planning hierarchy as a graph also. So if you go to the planning hierarchy, if you click on the button hierarchy graphic, there is a button called hierarchy graphic. If you click on that, this entire planning hierarchy will be shown as a tree kind of structure. Don't worry about whatever we are discussing. I have the document with step-by-step screenshots. Don't worry, just try to understand the concept. See, you have the distribution channel 01. Under that you have divisions, 2 divisions. Under the divisions, each division you have 2 materials. So you can see that entire planning hierarchy as a graph kind of thing. That is also possible. Okay. So now save it. Now go back, and already it's saved.